Welcome to Disability Advocates Aging in Place and Assistive Technology Series. Disability Advocates provides in-home evaluations and is able to assist you in these areas.
In this segment, we will help you learn about what gadgets are available that will make food preparation easier with whatever limitations you have, including arthritis and general weakness. And you'll find that we can all use these types of products as we age. Let's get started. We all have everyday items in our kitchens that we can use to help make food prep easier and save time and energy as you do it. Things like the microwave, crock pots, electric knives. Instead of just getting them out at Thanksgiving time to carve the turkey, they can be used with chickens. They can be used to help cut a fresh loaf of bread. An electric frying pan could be used tabletop at the kitchen table, and you can cook while seated instead of standing at the stove. So these are just some ideas of things that can make food prep easier for everybody. A cutting board, and it's designed for a person who has one-handed use. So on the back side, there are suction cups, and you can see that there are edges here. So you would put your bread here, and then you could spread your condiments on without the bread sliding off of the cutting board. These two nails are for putting your onion or your apple, even some meat, whatever you would need to hold in place, and then you can cut it with one hand and you don't have to worry about it moving. One task in the kitchen that we find is a very difficult task for people to accomplish is opening different types of jars, cans, or other containers. And there are lots of different devices out on the market to help do those things, but we're just featuring some of our favorites. So first of all, we have this device. This is an electric or a battery-operated can opener designed to be used with left hand, right hand, or one-handed use. So it goes on the can and it cuts from the side. You press the button for a couple of seconds. It goes all the way around the can, and when it gets to the end, you press the button again and it will stop. The sharp edge is going to be on the can, which prevents you from cutting yourself when you're taking the lid off of this. The other option, this is for jars. Again, this is right or left-handed, or one-handed. Set it on the jar. I'll do it. Press and hold the button for a few seconds. Another opener that's really nice for this style too is, this is more of a manual one. You just attach this and then you turn it and it comes right off. But again, you have to have the strength to turn it, but you do have the large handle for the leverage. So that's another option. Water bottles. A lot of people have issues with opening these small water bottles. This is a nice little tool that we recommend to do that. And all you do is put the device around the top edge of the water bottle lid, and then you just turn it. The end here, this can be used to open like a pop can tab. You can pop it under there, or if you have the soup cans that have the peel back lid, you can insert this and peel back the lid that way. Another item that we recommend is a rocker knife. This is a more industrial size. It's by KitchenAid. It has a big rubber handle that's easy to grip, easy to hold on to, and the purpose of this is to cut your meat or your food just by using a simple rocking motion. There's no need to hold the food with a fork while you're cutting with a knife. You just simply rock back and forth. This is a more heavy-duty style, and then we have a smaller, sort of lighter weight style. Again, easy to hold on to, lightweight, and you just do that rocking motion. This is a plate with built-up sides on it. This is ideal for maybe someone who's had a stroke and has weakness, or just use of one hand. With the built-up edges, you can use your fork or your spoon and push off the edge so that your food can get on your utensil and not fall off of the plate. These are anti-cut gloves, and so a person can put these gloves on and not have to worry about cutting themselves when they're doing chopping in the kitchen. This is just a mandolin slicer, big handles. A lot of this stuff you can find just at your local stores. They're making things that are more ergonomically friendly with the big rubber handles here. It's got a big handle there. You can find this stuff easily locally. This is an oven pull. So if you can imagine, if you're in a wheelchair and you're trying to get something out of the oven and you have pulled the oven door down, it's difficult to try to reach and get that oven rack and get out what is in the oven. So you can use this stick to it latches around the oven rack, and you just slide it out, and then you can get your item out of the oven safely without having to dive into the oven, so to speak, and then pushing the rack back in with the end. This is a great little gadget. It's a piece of Dyson, and it's rubber and sticky. This can be used for a lot of different things. You can put it under if you have a mixing bowl or even your dinner plate, you can put it under there, and it's really gonna hold everything in place. It's not gonna move on you at all. You can also use it as an opener. It gives you some grip to kind of open things up if you need to. If it does get dusty and loses its stick, if you just wash it with soapy warm water, it will get its stick back. So it's kind of a handy thing to have around the kitchen as well. So these are just some of the items that are available through our program. We do have an equipment loan closet, so please, if you're interested in any of this or think that we could help, please contact Disability Advocates of Kent County, and we'd be happy to come out and do an assessment.
Now we're going to talk about ADL equipment and self-care. ADL stands for Activities of Daily Living, and there's a lot of different tools. These are just some of the basic ones that you might have seen. They're very common, and so if there's a specific problem that you're having, again, we recommend you talking to an occupational therapist to see if there's a piece of equipment that would be able to help. So these basic ones I have today are, this is a reacher. This can be used around the home, but it also can be used for dressing. If you have a hard time bending over to reach your pants on the ground, you can use this to bring them up. Or maybe you have a hard time reaching your shoes on the ground, you can use this as well. There's many different styles of these, there's different lengths. There's ones that bend if you want to have it so that way you can maybe take it with you or put it in the car. So the two I have today are these styles. Again, you can see how the mouths are different, so they can pick up different things. This one does have a magnet on it, which can be helpful as well. And then it also has this, which is a handy little tool for getting like socks off, or if you have compression garments, you can use this to kind of lock in there and push it down your leg. So again, these are great for dressing, but also just around the house in general. One of the tools that I'm going to demonstrate today is called a sock aid. This is great if you have a hard time reaching down to put your socks on, whether it be from a surgery or maybe you're just having a harder time because of pain. This little tool is very handy. So what you do is you actually can put it between your legs, or you can butt it up against your stomach. Take your sock and stretch it over there with the heel on the bottom part. So you're just going to stretch it over like this. And you don't want to go above because you want to have room to get your foot in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take it and drop it down to the ground. Again, this is nice because then you don't have to bend over to reach your feet, and you can just slide your sock right on. So it's a nice little thing. Compression garments are a whole nother story. I have had some people use this to put those compression garments on, but there are other tools out there to help you do that. And then again, you can take your reacher to get the sock off, just down and off without having to bend over at all. There are different sock aids. There are soft ones. Then the other one we have here is a nice wide one. So if your feet tend to swell, the wide one's nice. But a thing to consider with the wide one is, can your sock stretch over it? But these are handy tools to have. These are elastic shoelaces. They look like they're just regular shoelaces, but they're stretchy. So what we do is you can take your shoelaces out of whether they're tennis shoes or even dress shoes, these have worked, and you replace them with these and you actually tie them. And what that does is it turns them into slip-on shoes. So with them tied, we always recommend having a long-handled shoe horn or a shoe horn in general that you can put, get your foot into it and slide into the shoe with these elastic shoelaces. This next thing I have is a dressing stick. This can be used for many things. Some people, you can use it to put your coat on if you're not able to reach over. You can, again, take your socks off with the hook. I have had people use this metal hook on the end to zip up their boots because they can't bend over, so there's a way to do that. So it's kind of a universal thing. People come up with creative ways to use this thing, but it's a great tool to have. The next thing I'm going to talk about is toileting aids. Again, there's so many different kinds out there. It really depends on what your limitations are, what you're having trouble with. I just have two today to show. This first one is the Freedom Wand, and this is actually more than just a toileting aid. You can use it for many different things. It comes with actually another extension, so you can make it longer. You can put your razor in there if you can't bend over to shave your legs. You can put your loofah, your sponge in there if you can't reach your back to wash or your feet. And then again, the toileting part of it. So what you do is you actually take your toilet paper and you can you crunch it up like this and slide it in. And then what it does is it just extends your reach. Again, there's different lengths of it, but this is just an example of what you can do if you're having a hard time with wiping. And then this again is another style. They look very similar to grilling tongs, so you don't want to get those confused. But you just again put the toilet paper, and you want to be able to make sure that you're not wrapping it around. Oftentimes I see people wrapping it completely around. Then what happens is after you wipe, you have to use your hands to get it off. So there is a technique to using these, and that is something that we can show you how to use. But again, you just clamp it, and then it gives you an extension of reach. These come in different sizes, so it just depends on how much extra reach you need.
There are many types of emergency personal response systems on the market. Most of them do have some sort of monthly fee. The one that we like to use does not have a monthly fee, but it does require a phone line. It plugs into the phone line, and the user can store up to 4 phone numbers of family or friends and have it call 911. So 4 numbers, if no one is able to answer, then it can call 911, or you can have it just call 911. So this is the unit. It runs on rechargeable batteries and power. So if you lose electricity for some reason, the rechargeable batteries will kick in, and this will still be usable. There is also a charger for the pendant battery. So there's a backup battery in the front here, and then a battery that goes in here. So you always have a charged battery. On the back is where you can select if you want it to call friends in 911, friends only, or 911 only. And this is a device we are able to get people through our program. Here in Kent County, there is a service through the Kent County Senior Millage that does offer different types of emergency response buttons. There is a pendant that the user wears. When the button is pressed, it will call the 4 family or friends, followed by 911 if needed, and the user talks into the pendant just as if it was the telephone. This is the pendant that can be worn on a lanyard, or it can be worn on your wrist, or there's a clip and it can attach to a shirt or your pants. This unit is only good in the house. You cannot use this outside. There are other types that are available for outside use.